Let's go. Episode 3, baby.
Consistency, guys. Consistency. So, with that being said, today, guys, we will be discussing the NIL. What is the NIL? How is it affecting everybody across the board?
And don't forget transfer portal.
Yeah, transfer portal as well.
Those two kind of work hand in hand.
Yeah, go hand in hand. But before we get started, bruh, I have a question to ask you.
Yeah, what's up?
Legitimate question to ask you.
Hit me with your best shot.
Have you ever had it to where like it's raining outside, right? Because it's raining.
Yeah,
outside.
Great weather.
Great weather.
Oh yeah, sleeping weather, baby.
Kiss ass. Anyway, you look up at this guy, and right when you look up at this guy, like a water drop, like hits you dead in your pupil, like dead in your eye.
Okay,
bruh, that is some disrespectful stuff.
Now, you know what's disrespectful?
Bruh, that's disrespectful.
You want to know what's disrespectful?
I don't. That's disgusting. Don't even say it.
All
no,
right. No.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I don't want to hear it.
I'm just saying.
I don't want to hear it. But anyway.
Fair enough.
All right. Let's get started.
Let's go.
What is the NIL?
All right. So for those of you who don't know, NIL is name, image, likeness. So essentially, it was brought into law. It was made legal in what, 2022? June 2022?
I think it was approved in 21 and then it like blew up in 22.
True. I think. We were actually just talking about that. So essentially it just allows college athletes, not just football players or basketball players, but any spectrum of college athlete. If you're on a scholarship, you can get an NIL deal to get paid for their name, image, and likeness. One of the prominent examples is like Bijan Robinson.
Wait, who he got an NIL deal with?
Bijan Mustard.
I thought it was Dijon Mustard.
Or Dijon, sorry, Dijon Mustard. And
so it's a play on.
It's a play on his name.
Okay.
And he's one of the prominent people that got a NIL deal. You have people like Harold Perkins who just signed a NIL deal with John Deere. And then, I mean, looking at your computer, we're looking at the highest valued NIL deal is what golly, what's his name? Oh, LeBron James.
Yeah,
Bronny.
Yeah,
Bronny James.
6.2, something like that. And
so
then Olivia Dunn, I think.
Yeah, Olivia Dunn, LSU gymnast, $3.4 million.
So I got my handy dandy notepad.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
So with that being said, like, okay, let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
What is your opinion? Like, what is your bottom line opinion on the NIL? We can get into all the specifics, but what is your bottom line opinion on it? Like, to start off with.
So as a prior college athlete,
yeah,
I was jealous as hell because,
money?
Bruh, did I want money?
Money?
But if I'm taking that part out of it and just, you know, being a prior college athlete,
yeah,
it would have been great to be paid for my name, image, and likeness. You know, my last name's Bellany. I could have got an NIL deal with Oscar Mayer. Yeah, exactly.
No,
but no, man. At the end of the day, I think
mystery meat.
At the end of the day, I think NIL is a great thing. You know, just at its bare root, I think it's a great opportunity because, like we were just talking about, not all these kids are going to get the opportunity to go pro in their specific sport.
Absolutely not.
But what it does allow is that you can get paid while you're in college.
Yeah. More
than what a standard, whatever the stipend was for college athletes.
Yeah.
But you're able to make a substantial amount of money. And if you don't go pro, okay, whatever.
Yeah, so what?
It's able to help you establish a solid base foundation monetarily for your family.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of kids, I mean, here in Houston, kids from 3rd Ward, 5th Ward, whose families aren't in the best situation.
Yeah.
But NIL allows for the kid to go and take on his academic athletic pursuits and still be able to give money to the family.
And that's my issue. And not my issue. That's my thing with the NIL.
Yeah.
people are like, oh, it's giving too much to the kids and and giving too much money to the kids, and now they're more concerned about the check than they are the education. Okay,
you have that. You have
that, but I feel like that's only a small percentage of it. Like when we talked about this previously, your goal when you go to college is to do what? Create something for yourself.
Yep.
Create a foundation for yourself, build something for yourself, accomplish dreams, reach goals, set yourself up, your future, if you choose to have a future family, or if you have a current family, set your current family up for success. Yeah. That is the goal of going to college, along with getting primarily your higher education.
Exactly.
Now, with that being said, the NIL allows you to do those things plus some, because I think you found out that statistic that it's 1 to 2, maybe 3% of college athletes that become pro. Yeah. That go pro, and that's across the board.
That's across the board, man.
So if we're talking about crazy. 1 to 3% across the board for shits and giggles, let's say you have 100. Let's say you have 100 people on a team. Mm-hmm. One of those guys. One of those females,
statistically speaking, one of them is going pro.
What's going to happen to the other 99? Because as we also know in this day and age, having a 4-year bachelor's degree now is
like having an associate's.
Exactly. But if I get an NIL deal, if I'm able to get one, and if I use it correctly, I get my 4-year degree. I've made $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 or a few million. Yeah. By the time I graduate, I've set myself straight if I use it right. Mm-hmm. I've set my family straight. Yeah. And I can go ahead and pursue whatever new ventures that I want to pursue. Yeah. Because if we look at it, I just had to write down some schools. If we look at it, okay. Cost of attendance for a few of these schools: Alabama, in-state tuition for one full academic year, $32,000. In-state. Out-of-state, $53,000. Yeah. Georgia, $27,000 for in-state, $47,000 for out-of-state. USC, this doesn't matter if you're in-state or out-of-state, $90,000 for an academic year. Bro. If you live with your parents, and by the way, all of these is for if you choose to be living on campus, which I mean at the end of the day, every college you're going to want to live on campus. USC, if you live with your parents, $79,000. Yeah. Oregon, $35,000 in-state, $64,000 out-of-state. LSU, $25,000 in-state, $42,000 out-of-state. Now, listening to those numbers, mm-hmm. Yes, the coaches, the athletic directors, all of these other people, yes, they deserve to be paid. Yeah. But the school is bringing in on one student athlete millions for those 4 years. Yeah. And even if you choose to pay my full ride for the entire 4 years,
that's not enough for what I bring in.
It's not enough for what I've brought in.
And that's why I personally love the fact that NIL is here, because the school's gonna get their money regardless.
They're gonna get their bread, period.
But now it's allowing players, athletes, to get broke off what they. Now, I'm not going to say what they deserve, what they've earned based off of their performance.
And at the end of the day, I feel like it is what they deserve, because I've broken my back to make this school what it is. Because if you take away a few football programs from a few of these astute colleges, mm-hmm. take away basketball programs from a few of these schools, swim teams, lacrosse teams.
You're taking almost all the revenue away.
You're taking away pretty much all of their revenue. Yeah. All their status. Mm-hmm. All of their accolades. Yeah. And the school becomes this is going to sound harsh, but to a certain degree, that school becomes pointless. it becomes a figment. It becomes a figment of his imagination. It's just like, oh, it's another academic institution. Yeah. So it's like
nothing that really sets it apart.
What's the issue with the NIL? And they try to bring up, this is going on and that is going on. Like the student, like they need to be more concerned about this, and they're jumping ship, or they're choosing to go to a smaller college because that smaller college is going to give them more money than what a bigger school is going to give them. What's the problem with that?
And so now that is where I have a little bit. That's one of my points of contention.
Okay.
With NIL, is that while it's great that student athletes are being paid, I mean, and it happened in the most recent recruiting class. You remember? You probably don't know, but there was this quarterback, Jaden Rashada. He had this big
Florida, right?
He was gonna go to Florida.
It was like $11 million.
He signed a contract, and they didn't honor the contract, so he ended up leaving.
Okay.
But I bring that up because what I fear and what has already happened is that kids are making their decision based strictly off of who's paying me the most money.
But what percentage of kids do you truly think is making that decision based off what they're getting paid? Like in your opinion, like what's the percentage? Because I feel like that's on the lower end of the spectrum for kids who are,
I would say maybe 20%.
Okay. So go ahead.
And I just, what I don't think is right, or what I don't think is the smartest decision, is to go to an institution based off of how much money they're going to pay you when your aspirations is to go to the pros. Like there's this one player, I feel like I'm gonna mess up his first name, but I think it's Caleb Proctor. He was the number one recruit coming out of Iowa this past recruiting cycle.
Okay.
He was committed to Iowa for the majority of the recruiting cycle. And then right before signing day, he took an official visit to Alabama, flipped to Alabama.
But I mean, I would switch from Iowa to Alabama.
But what I'm saying is they had more money on the table for him in regards to NIL. Iowa did.
Okay.
They had way more than what Bama was offering, but he decided to go to Bama because he understood. He had what I like to call a 5-year plan.
It's a
4-year plan, 3-year plan. He knew he would get better development,
yes,
which would help him get to the NFL.
It's a longer run.
Which that money he would gain in the NFL would dwarf what he would get in an NIL contract. And so there's been kids that have decided to go to schools just based solely on, okay, how much money am I going to get?
Yeah,
and that's where I think it's kind of jacked up because you're not setting yourself up for success.
Yeah,
or
that creates
not
an
long
issue.
term. You're looking for the
short term. Yeah, you're setting yourself up for short term success. It's no different than, in the real world, it's no different than somebody choosing a job solely off of what they're going to get paid.
Oh, facts.
You're going to hate that job, in which case it's going to start to take an effect on your performance.
I would say the opportunity is greater for you to hate that job.
Yes. You may end up falling in love, but the opportunity for you to hate the job is significant. Now, with a kid that's choosing to go to a school solely for the money, that portion of it, you gotta have somebody in your corner to be like, pause. And whether it's the coach, whether it's mama, auntie, grandma, brother, cousin, best friend, whoever, gotta be like, hey, no, why are you going to that school?
Some people are like that, but you also gotta keep in mind, bro, when you see, let's just say you see a check for $1 million, it's more money than you have ever seen in your life.
Yes.
And so you have like Colorado, right? Giving you $1 million.
You're gonna go up here. Yeah.
You have Alabama that's gonna cut you a check for $20,000.
Yeah.
You know the opportunity to go to NFL because of the name Alabama is there versus going to Colorado. Some parents, I'm not going to say all parents because I know it's not all parents, but some parents would be like, yo, it's $1 million. you better take your Abbott over there and go to that school.
Yeah, you better go to
You
Iowa.
can turn up there.
Yeah, you better go to Iowa.
But the opportunity to get that development, to have the name Alabama behind you, because a lot of
it's that portion of it though. It's that portion where you're like, okay, yes, you have $1 million at face value. But the name, we're just using Alabama. You can use whatever, your predominant favorite school is or whatever. Mine is literally Georgia, LSU. As you can see. Anyway.
That's fair.
You have, $1 million up front versus, I'm getting 20,000 right now. Yeah. But what am I going to get in the latter portion of it? I watched the video. I watched a video of 50 Cent talking about an album when he was sitting in.
Talking about the points?
Yes.
I remember
when they offered him a certain amount of money up front, and his lawyer was like, "Oh, we're gonna take that," and he was like, "No."
He wanted to give his home. It was his manager or his homeboy or somebody.
His manager wanted to take the money.
He was like, "No, I'll give you points."
And the lawyer was like, "No."
He didn't realize how points.
The lawyer was like, "No, let's look at this from a points perspective." As the amount of money that you will get over time. That is where, if nobody is in your corner, you need to sit your Abbott down, and you need to be like, okay, yes, they're offering me $1 million up front. Yeah. Alabama is offering me 20,000, whatever up front as well. Yes, that's a huge difference at face value. But
what are you going to get with that 20,000?
What am I getting with that 20,000? It's going. If you go there and perform, you got to go there and perform.
You have the opportunity to make more.
You have the opportunity to make much more, and essentially in a quicker time span.
No, I completely agree. Like it just, like you said, it depends on who you have in your corner.
Man, if you don't have anybody, then it falls to you, because at that point you're an adult. Like you got an adult at this point.
But so that's one thing I have gripes with in regards to NIL. Okay.
What's the second one?
Second one is,
I feel like I got problems with the second one.
I feel like you probably won't, but whatever. It's the tampering that takes place.
The tampering?
Yes.
Okay.
So
you got to read me into that one.
All right. So, the rule is that if a player is not in the transfer portal, that you cannot actively recruit him or entice him to come to your team. You're not supposed to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Like,
that's a gray area.
So, prime example, and this is one of the reasons why I'm pissed off with NCAA, I just don't like them, is that Jordan Addison, so he was a wide receiver that was just drafted in the first round of the recent NFL draft. Yeah. He was drafted by the Minnesota Vikings, right?
Okay.
So prior to last year, he was at Pittsburgh University. It's either Pittsburgh University or University of Pittsburgh.
He was at Pitt.
He was at Pitt,
yeah,
right? Where he played with the quarterback for the Steelers right now, Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, Kenny Pickett.
Yeah. All right, so he was on that team.
Okay.
Pickett got drafted.
Okay.
And during that time, Pitt didn't know who their quarterback was going to be, right? USC, when Lincoln Riley got there, he started building up his team, and he made it well known that, look, I have to go into the transfer portal to build my team. Apparently, like, there was some bird in the air that Addison was thinking about going to the portal, and if he did, he was going to go to USC.
Okay.
That's because USC
had shown interest
and was like, okay, you come over here, look, we're gonna break you off.
Well, we're gonna break you off. And you're also coming to a significantly more,
more high vis and all that stuff.
Yes.
But that's my issue. Like, you should not be able to do that personally. Like, now you're not necessarily messing with the opportunity, but you're undercutting another institution, another team.
In that regard, I can agree to a certain point. No, you shouldn't be able to actively recruit him if he's not in the transfer portal.
Yes.
But I don't have an issue with you. It's a very fine line. I don't have an issue with the school showing interest in said player, especially in that particular situation, because that particular player has no idea what his future is going to hold.
I have to disagree in that aspect because he was a Biletnikoff winner, the top wide receiver.
No, what I'm saying is he doesn't know where, like you said, Pickett had left.
Yeah.
They didn't know what quarterback was coming in. Correct?
Oh, so you're talking about his prospects for the next year?
His prospects for the next year is up in the air. I don't know who's going to be quarterback. I don't know because
this is my money year.
We all know, not even money. Well, yeah, I guess at the end of the day it does boil down to money, but we don't know. I don't know what my stats is going to look like next year.
True. That's
why guys go into the league on a hot year, or that's why they stay for 4 years, or they try and push that 5th year eligibility.
Yeah,
they try and stay for that extra year because
COVID year.
They don't know what their stats is gonna look like.
Yeah.
So on that portion of it, I don't have an issue with, because you have to think too. Everybody that he's playing for, aside from his teammates, everybody that he's essentially playing for already has their career. Coach, OC, DC, athletic director, whomever, recruiting, they're already set.
Okay. Yeah.
It's his responsibility. Not because remember, he's an adult at this point.
Yeah.
It's his responsibility to be like, okay, let me go out. Let me see what's going on out here. Because you know and I know, if he would have stayed there and if he wouldn't have got numbers and if he would have not been drafted where he was drafted, or he probably would have been drafted later, we all know the talking heads would have been like, oh, well, he should have pursued, or he should have looked into going here, or he should have looked into going there.
Oh, no, like...
That's why I say it's a fine line, but I would 100% agree with you. Like, don't actively try to recruit my guy if he's not in the transfer portal.
All right, so question then.
Yes.
Since you don't believe that should be taking place.
Not actively, no.
Not actively. Okay, whatever. What's your feeling on what Deion Sanders is doing?
What do you mean what Deion Sanders is doing?
So
Deion Sanders is not actively recruiting guys. Deion Sanders is actively throwing out.
Oh, he is.
Yeah.
He has said that. Look, he's been cutting people, but
70-something players.
Tell me why.
No, 60 something players.
Like
okay.
So tell me.
Bring it on. Bring it on. I got a lot of this one.
Help me make sense of this.
Mm-hmm.
That with those players leaving, starters from Florida State, are now transferring to Colorado. Why?
Because it's Deion.
You're telling me they're going to really just go there because it's Deion?
Bruh. Who in their right mind? What? Not even going to say black. What athlete would not want to play? And somebody may very well disagree with me with this. My eyes are big as hell.
I do.
What athlete is not going to want to go and be coached by one of the greatest quarterback in NFL history?
If I'm a linebacker, why would I want to be coached by Deion?
Because it's Deion.
No.
Name a time where Deion has not kept it 100 across the board.
Oh, he always keeps it 100. Like he's honest. But just because you're honest doesn't mean you're going to develop me as the player that I need to be to potentially be a first round, second round, or NFL draft pick.
I don't know. As a leader, my job is to find the best player, to find the best person that is going to develop you.
You are a starter at what is about to be a top 5 school, a national school in the upcoming maybe top 5, in the upcoming rankings, you're going to be on the national spotlight.
And I just thought
regardless.
And I just thought about this. Yes, you're going to be on a national spotlight regardless. But how many people can say that they went there and built something? Florida State already built. Florida State is already built.
Okay, Florida State had a great year last year.
Yes,
and they're going to have a great. They're set up to have a great year.
Since we're speaking of these two, How relevant has Florida State been over the last 10 years? Just answer that.
They haven't been relevant.
Over the last 10 years? They ain't been relevant?
No.
Over the last 10?
Yes.
Over the last 10 years?
In the ACC, who's been most relevant? Who? Clemson?
Okay. What year did Florida State win the championship with Jameis Winston?
I don't know. I'll have to look up on the computer.
In the last 10 years, Florida State has been significantly more relevant than Colorado.
Yeah. Like, I'm not arguing with that.
So not only do I have the chance to go and be coached by one of the greatest players in history, no matter what my position is, I also have the opportunity to go and rebuild a team back to its glory days. Is that a chance that I'm willing to take? I'll say right now, if I was in college, and if my school, I don't know why they leaving Florida State, but I'm saying in general, as a wide spectrum, if I have the opportunity to leave my school and Deion Sanders is recruiting me, if he can't coach me, I know he's gonna try and find the best persons, the best people to coach me, because his name is on this and he don't play by his name.
You don't.
I can go and I can create something amazing if that is a sacrifice that I would be willing to make.
You can't. Well, I'm gonna say this.
You can't foresee it.
No. I'm saying, like, greatness doesn't just happen in 1 year, unless it's just like a flash in the pan.
Yes. But
like,
there's an open opportunity there. That's why. Sorry to cut you off, but that's why I had no issue when Deion made the statement of, if you're not trying to get it done, you guys to roll out. He was all he's cutting the starters.
Oh, that's just people being soft.
1-11 last year.
That's just people being soft. My thing is that I am a starter at a Power 5, top 10 ranked school.
Yes.
I know that with that, there's going to be more opportunity to be on TV, which means more opportunity to be in front of NFL scouts.
Yes.
Which potentially, if I ball out the way I need to, more opportunity for NIL deals.
Yes.
I'm not leaving that to go, no matter how great he was as a player, to be coached by somebody that especially doesn't even coach my position.
What does that matter?
You just posed that argument. Like,
what does that matter? If he don't coach my position, he gonna get the best person to coach my position.
No,
going to work for it. Okay,
he's gonna get the best person he can find. Doesn't mean that's the best person.
Which he has plenty of people knocking on the doors to go there because they want to. Bro, you have to understand. Ground floor. I have the opportunity to build something amazing. It's a sacrifice.
I'm not gonna say build. I'll say maybe set the foundation for something amazing.
No, it's there. You can build.
So you think in the first year they're gonna ball out, beat the likes of Oregon?
I ain't going to.
We talking about being great. Like, being great, you got to beat the top dogs at least in your conference, right? So you're saying,
okay,
that they beat Oregon,
okay,
USC,
okay,
Washington,
okay,
and
I'm about to kill your argument. Go ahead. And I'm going to the SEC to do it. Go ahead. I'm going to the SEC.
You know, I'm a cap it at those three teams right there. I want to hear. There's a chance of that happening? Is it there? Yes, but I don't think that will happen. But I'm gonna let you answer your question so we can bring it back to, because we're going. So because we're going.
Go ahead.
So all right, we already kind of bled into the second topic. Now I feel like we touched on NIL.
Kill him.
Essentially, my opinion on it, Von's opinion on it. Now, what I really want to get into is the transfer portal, because these two kind of go hand in hand together.
Yeah, they do.
You know.
Okay.
What is your thoughts on the transfer portal and the fact that
I love it
that kids are able, essentially their future is in their own hands at this point?
That's how it should be. When you go to college, okay, you've been to college. I've been to college. We have plenty of friends that have been to college.
Yeah.
Viewers, y'all have been to college. What's one of the first things your parents told you when you go to college?
Oh, you're a grown ass man. It's big boy
Period.
rules. It's big boy rules.
Period. There ain't gonna be nobody waking you up. There ain't gonna be nobody telling you to go to class. Even if you are a student athlete, all of that falls to you. Before the transfer portal, it was like, oh, you made the decision. Now you have to stay with it. Yeah, that's not life. In life, I can choose to make a decision, and I can be like, you know what, this ain't working for me. Like I gotta do something else. Because you had plenty of coaches that lied to these students to get them there, to get the athletes there, and this, that, and the third. And now it's like, okay, I'm here. What you promised me is not what I'm getting, but now I have to stay here.
I mean, it happens in the civilian sector.
I can't go anywhere at this point. Okay. I love the transfer portal. Okay. Yes, there's good and bad to it because you can go into the transfer portal and you can die. Yeah. Figuratively. Your athletic career can die. But I love the transfer portal because I can make a decision to go to this school. If this is not working out for me, or if I don't, and by working out for me, I mean I've done everything that I'm supposed to do. I've checked off all of my boxes. Yeah. And I'm still not getting what I deserve. Then I need to find me somewhere else to go. Yeah. Bring it back to the whole Dion and the Colorado situation.
They
soft.
Oh, you talking about the previous players?
Previous players.
Yeah.
Some of them are soft. Yeah. Because if you don't like competition, he didn't kick you out.
He just said, look, I don't see you playing.
Compete.
I don't see you playing.
You gotta compete. Yeah. And then you had people coming out. Oh, he's too old school. The whole thing with the numbers, and you gotta earn your numbers. We can go back and forth on that topic, but I essentially don't have an issue with it. My issue is this: compete. Yeah, compete. Yeah. If you compete and you don't get it,
at least you did your best.
At least you did your job. Yeah. You can leave as a grown ass man and be like, I done my job. Yeah. He beat me out of it. It's not working out for me. I know I can go somewhere else, whether it's to a D2 school or even a D3 school. Yeah. I know I can go somewhere and still get development that I need because it's not like they're pulling the techniques and stuff out of your head that you got while you was at Colorado. Yeah. Take those to a D2, D3 school, ball the hell out.
Yeah, ball out.
Ball out. Joey Porter Sr. told his son,
ball out.
Ball out. They want to see a pissed off. They want to see a pissed off player. Now they got a reason. Take it personal.
I love that.
Take it personal. So in that regard, take what happened between you and Dion. No, not you and Dion. Take what happened.
Whatever coach
left that on the field or whatever coach. Take that. Go somewhere else. Ball out. Show them what they missed out on. Take it personal because that is your personal life.
Put that chip on your shoulder. I agree with that.
So I love the transfer portal because, like you said, it now gives me back my ownership of myself. Yeah. Prior to the NIL, prior to the transfer portal, there was no true ownership of an athlete other than when he presented himself onto the field. Yeah. They weren't owning themselves at that point. They weren't owning decisions that they were making, especially monetary, financial decisions. So it was like, I don't have any of this. But the transfer portal, I truly do not have an issue with it whatsoever. Yeah. The only caveat, the only tidbit is what you brought up with the whole actively pursuing them before they enter. Yeah. No. It's like you coming in my house looking at my sofa, trying to eyeball to buy my sofa before I put it on Facebook Marketplace. Yeah. Don't bring your ass in here.
So I'm glad we agree on that aspect. So I also agree that I don't have a gripe. I feel like I always have gripes with something. That's
because you old. You always use the word gripe. You old.
Look, I was raised in the South, so screw it.
Don't even try to use it. I was raised in the farther South than you, and I don't use the word gripe. So you want some gripe water? Go ahead.
No, I do. All right. So my only issue with the transfer portal is that it is giving these kids an easy out.
Absolutely.
And where are you going to learn about adversity? Where are you going to learn about being resilient? Because think about it. Some of these kids that are entering the transfer portal came in as 5 stars from wherever they were.
You got your bubble burst.
And they did not get as much grind, as much playing time as they wanted their freshman year. Case in point, your boy from UGA. They called him Bear Johnson or something like that. I forget it. He was a freshman defensive tackle behind the cat that just got drafted to the Eagles. The big 98.
But, I mean, it done turned into the Philly Dogs at this point. It's no longer the Philly Eagles.
Because he wasn't getting enough burn, he decided that, you know what, I want to leave. Winds up going to USC. Now, with some kids, they're going to get that opportunity to go somewhere else. Yeah. They're just an undeniable talent.
Yes.
But there's other kids that, you know what, it didn't go the way I wanted. It didn't go the way I wanted my first year. I'm going to jump in the transfer portal. And like you said, they're still in the transfer portal. Because the one thing about the transfer portal is that even though you can go in and you can play automatically at your next school, there's no guarantee that you're going to get out.
And it is an easy out. It is an easy out for the ones who choose to take that route. But that's essentially with anything.
Yeah.
Now, choosing to take that easy out, like the old saying goes, the grass ain't always green on the other side.
Big facts.
Because you can choose to take that easy out and go to another school. And they're like, oh, well, you know, you're going to be the starter. Guess what, though? Still got to compete.
You still got to compete, yeah.
Still got to compete.
You still got to show that you're worth a damn and you know what to do.
Still have to compete at the end of the day. When it's all said and done, your ass still got to compete.
Yes.
And if you're not willing to do that, then you're gonna be right back in there. Yeah. Or you're gonna be sitting, or you're just gonna be sitting there watching the next person up. Because I will say this, with your 4-star and 5-star recruits, not all of them, but some of them do have that, you know, mentality. Because I was a 4-star, 5-star recruit, I shut down this, I shut down that, I ran this while I was in high school, yada yada yada. Keep in mind that you are coming now. You are no longer big man on campus.
No,
you are now back at the bottom of the totem pole.
You a fish in a big.
And now you gotta go back and you gotta find whatever that was that pushed you there
to be like that in high school.
To be like that in high school. Now you gotta go. Now you either gotta keep that, or if you done lost it and got the big head, you gotta find it before you go to college. And that's why I feel like a lot of they heads have blown up and they get burst, and it's like, oh snap, because that same kid that you was giving the business to in high school, he might have been a walk-on at the same college. And you know what?
Stetson Bennett.
He's like, you know what? I got something for you, because now we are back at it, buddy. I've been itching to get back at you. And now I can do it on an even bigger stage.
Bro, case in point, Stetson Bennett was a walk-on at Georgia. They told him, look, you're not going to – as much as I don't like Georgia, I got to respect Stetson Bennett. I got to respect him. Because he said, y'all can tell me that I'm not going to be a starter. I'm going to show y'all why I should be a starter. You know what I'm saying?
National champion.
But how many – okay, I acknowledge the fact that y'all beat us. And that y'all beat TC – y'all – 2-time national champion. Yeah, can we go past that?
We ain't gonna talk about TCU situation. The national championship, you could pick one of two teams. The national championship was either against y'all or it was against. Really, the national championship game was the Ohio State one, but
that was really it.
Yeah, we gonna let that one ride.
But yeah, man.
Ate some frog legs that night.
At the end of the day, man, I think that both the transfer portal and NIL, I think they're gonna stay. They're gonna become the new norm. At the end of the day,
yes. You can't get rid of it.
You can't get rid of
them at this point.
And I think that is, if anything, is going to become more regulated in a sense of like, because we saw last year when it was unregulated, it was crazy.
Yeah, it's still the wild.
You know what I'm saying? And so I inevitably think that the tampering is going to be that's probably gonna go away. Well, not completely. It's gonna be there in onesies and twosies, but with it being regulated, I think that's gonna go away. I think the NCAA itself is becoming obsolete because they control transfer portal and they controlled athletes being able to get paid.
The money. If you can control the money, you control everything.
Yeah,
that's the gist of it. If you can control the money, route, you control everything else.
Yeah, man, and I just to kind of sum everything up, I love the fact that these players are getting paid.
Yes,
I love the fact that they have people in their corner. Case in point, Angel Reese, where she was like, I'm in no rush to go to the WNBA. I'm getting paid more here.
I'm getting paid 6 figures
than what I would be getting paid in the WNBA under a rookie contract. And so, I love that.
Like for real veteran contract. Like she making bread.
And as much.
And I don't have any I don't have any true responsibilities right now other than to perform and get my academics.
Yeah. And so I love it, man. I'm glad that it came. I wish it would have came earlier when I was playing, but hey, to each their own.
Wish it would have came too.
But I'm happy for them. I think it's the sky's the limit. In all honesty, let these kids make their money.
I agree with that. Like I said before, when it all boils down to it, college is supposed to be the place where you set yourself up. Mm-hmm. If you have family, you can set them up.
Yep.
And it's the place where you get a higher education to pursue whatever career that you want to pursue.
Yeah.
That is what college is supposed to be for.
Yeah.
And in that regard, that is what is happening with the NIL and the transfer portal. It's allowing kids, young adults, to now have everything essentially back to them. You want me to be an adult? You want me to adult? Now I have the opportunity to adult.
Yeah. And that comes with both the positives and the negatives.
Because yes, you can give too much to a young person, and it can destroy them.
Texas A&M.
Yes, but you can also give that amount to them, and they use it like how it's supposed to be used. And I feel like that's the vast majority of your student athletes.
Yeah,
because you don't know when an injury is going to happen.
You don't know the severity of the injury.
You don't know the severity of the injury. You don't know when something may happen with a family member, to where an immediate family member, to where you have to now step in and you have to not only go to school and perform, but you have to now also be mom or be dad or take care of mom.
You got to be the breadwinner.
Or like I can't remember the guy that played. They made a movie about him. He played safety, I think, at Clemson, and he ended up bringing his little brother with him.
Oh yeah,
because he had to take care of his little. He had to take care of his little brother. So you don't know when something like that is going to occur.
Yeah.
But with the NIL now, it allows you
to have the means.
If something like that happens.
Yeah, and of course we're talking like extreme circumstances.
Yeah, in extreme circumstances, but just in the general, I'm good now.
Yeah.
Across the board. So once I graduate, I now know that, okay, I wasn't good enough to go to the league.
But at least I got some money.
I got something out of this other than
just an education.
Just my 4-year degree that 1,200 other people got.
Yeah.
So now I gotta go into you still have to go compete in the workforce, but you have a leg up. Like, okay, well, I don't want to go.
You have less pressure.
I want to go compete in the entrepreneurial aspect of it, and I have that opportunity to do so.
Yeah.
So with that, guys, give us your thoughts and opinions down in the comments.
Yes, sir.
Tell us what you think about the NIL, the transfer portal. Georgia beating LSU, the whole Deion Sanders situation at Colorado. Oh, real quick, to answer your question, no, I do not think that they are just going to go out there and whoop ass. but I think that they're going to genuinely compete. Anyway.
Okay, whatever.
You know what? We're going to leave that.
Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. And we're going to, in the description, you'll see the link to our Spotify, our Twitter, Facebook. Please just follow us on all platforms, as we'll be making constant posts. And we're making the posts that y'all can be engaged. And you can engage us with questions. We want to conversate with y'all.
Guys, we want to get your comments so we can put them in on the show. At some point, we will start bringing in special guests. So you may be one of those special guests. Real quick, one more time. Shout out to Night Shift Gaming.
Night Shift.
Appreciate it, bro. We will be seeing you very soon. And with that being said, guys, we are out.
Deuces, y'all.
Deuces.